Hi, I am Jade Alcasty, and today I wanted to just share with you a little bit about why I started this channel and my journey with arts and crafts. I had been working full time as a property manager, which was a career I very much enjoyed and was unexpectedly good at. I'd been promoted several times within my company, and previous to starting work at that particular workplace, I had been an administrator and hadn't really ever expected to reach a level of professionalism beyond admin support. So it was something I'd worked very hard for and something I cared about a lot. So I had started to become tired. I was finding by 1 o'clock in the afternoon I was no longer able to think. I'd be reading the words on the screen and they weren't making any sense to me. It was like reading a foreign language. I was experiencing headaches daily, aches and pains all over my body, and this became worse and worse over time. To the point where I wasn't really functioning, and I had been to my doctor a couple of times, and they had run some blood tests, but I kept pushing against it. My life had pretty much become going to work, coming home from work in a sort of exhausted haze, and falling into bed, not being able to do anything else. But I tried to push past it. I didn't take it seriously enough, and one day I woke up and I didn't want to live anymore. The constant exhaustion and struggle just to function, the pretending to be focused and together at work, which had gone on for months and months and months. And I went to my doctor, and my doctor signed me off, and I went to bed. And from that point, I was pretty much bedbound for months. I had fought this illness and worked against it so hard. I had pushed my body and mind beyond anything it was actually capable of, and the next few months were hell on earth for me. Sorry, it's my dog in the background day. My ability to concentrate had deteriorated to the point that I couldn't entertain myself at all. I couldn't read. I couldn't maintain a conversation. I spent hours every day just staring at the ceiling. I'm a very active, energetic person. The boredom was unbearable to me. If I tried to get up and walk, I would fall. My muscles just wouldn't support me. I stopped having the ability and energy to eat. I think at its worst I went 9 days without eating. I dropped a huge amount of weight, and no one knew what was going on. No, the doctors couldn't find anything. They did all the tests. They were very good, and I don't want to go into too much detail about the outcome of those investigations. Suffice to say, I have a diagnosis and a management plan, but a cure is not something that is medically possible at this point in time. So the upshot of all this was that eventually, after 6 months of very little improvement, my workplace was no longer able to hold my position open anymore, and it was generally agreed with the medical professionals I was working with that for me, full-time work was not going to be an immediate goal or even a medium-term goal, and that what I needed to do was reprioritize my life. This had a deep psychological impact on me. I felt like I had lost everything: my health, my job, my financial security, my view of myself as a non-disabled person, which has overreaching impacts on your body image and your sense of identity, and it's quite a journey to come to terms with, and for a while I wasn't coping with this. I was fairly convinced that my life was over, and the depression fed into the illness, which fed into the illness, which fed into the depression, and things just became worse and worse. But as I've mentioned earlier, the boredom was one of the most unbearable things for me, and one day I was on one of the rare days I could get up and out of bed, knocking around the house, and I found my flatmate's old acrylic paints. And without having any training or knowing what I was doing, I sat down and began to paint. And this had been the longest I had been able to concentrate on anything for 6 or 7 months. And the next day I got up and I did it again. And I liked what I was painting. I wasn't very good, but I liked what I was painting. And then I started looking up tutorials on YouTube and learning some actual techniques for painting, and I invested in some of my own better quality acrylic paints and some canvases, brushes, and I continued this, and then I was inspired to try clay modelling, like Vimos and polymer clays, and again I turned to YouTube, learned some techniques, and so on and so on, until I had built a range of creative skills. And I guess the upshot of this video is that the artists and crafters who took the time to put together videos teaching skills that I couldn't afford lessons in, that I didn't have the ability to leave the house to reach any courses, may just have saved my life and offered me something that medical professionals couldn't offer me. No amount of therapy or medications ever really gave me what finding myself and rebuilding the identity I had lost on this creative aspect of myself gave me. The medical world, as necessary as it is, could not offer me, and can't really offer a lot of people with the same condition as me, the hope that art and craft gave me. And so I guess the reason I want to make these videos is to contribute and give back to making arts and crafts accessible to other people, and that's why I'm here. So I hope you will join me in crafting along with my future videos, and I hope you will get the same amount of joy out of creating something with your own hands that I've got from it.